Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the brand new Dreammaker collection from Close to My Heart. This is a brand new collection bundle celebrating National Scrapbooking Month. So I think this is just an absolutely gorgeous collection. I am going to be scrapbooking these two photos of my boys on a spring day. So I got, I think, the whole bundle of products. There is a scrapbooking workshop, there is a card making workshop, and I think a small album workshop as well. I ended up just getting the whole bundle. So I'm going to be using the die cuts or the paperboard ephemera that comes with it to kind of piece together a title. And then I'm going to use the stamps that come with it to kind of layer behind my photos. I decided not to back my photos, but to add some stamping behind it instead. And when I opened up my stamp set, that was the first time that I had opened up this stamp set, I was shocked that there were two different sides of stamps. I thought it was just that front side, but there is actually a whole nother stamp kind of set behind it too. So you get both of those, which I thought was great. But what I'm going to be using is kind of the mixed media smushing stamps, the background stamps. I think they're just great. I had previously set aside some of the colors from the collection. That one is Sundance, and I think Glacier and Periwinkle I think I'm using as well. And I don't think I have those photos taped down yet, but I kind of have a good idea where those photos are going to be, for the final product. So I'm leaving them there so I can stamp around them. And I am also using second generation stamping. So that is when you stamp after inking, but before you re-ink, you stamp again. And then you just get like a lighter color image. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do that and kind of add some of the stamping behind where my title is going to be. And I just had a lot of fun. I am really enjoying kind of the background element stamps. It's just kind of a clean mixed media. I feel like I don't have to, get out the water, which is great because I don't have water in the she shed. So when my water bottle runs out, I have to run in the house. So this is just those stamps are so great for me. And they're just mess free. Get a baby cloth, clean off your stamp, and away you go. On to the next thing. I am going to rip a couple of the pattern papers for the top and the bottom of the layout. So my, focal point is going to be right across the middle of the layout. So I think these papers, the colors in these papers, the designs of the papers are just so fun. They're so pretty. And I really had a lot of fun using this and was actually kind of surprised that I could use it for layouts of my boys. So you can see that I did kind of pick out some papers that are more masculine, I guess. They're not the pinks and the purples that I'm going to be using. And then I set aside the rest of the pinks, the purples, all those girly papers for a future layout that will be for my album. So I'm just going to tuck in that kind of striped paper behind the polka dot paper and kind of go from there. I will kind of start with my title now because it is going to be a longer title. I'm going to use some stamps for the title in different sizes and fonts of stamps as well. So to start kind of piecing together my title, I am going to commit to the placement of my pictures. After I get a couple more stamped images down, I will tape down my photos so then I can actually take down that lovely. I thought that was kind of important as a starting point for the rest of my title. What my title is going to say is such a lovely spring day. On the black cut-aparts, there is a cursive day. So I will be using that, but then using different colors for the rest of the title. And we don't get very many nice spring days up here. A lot of times it will go right from winter to summer, I feel like, or back to winter too. That's kind of where we were a couple weeks ago. So when we get a nice spring day, we try to go out and kind of celebrate, go to the park. And on this day, actually, the ice cream truck came around and there was a really nice guy at the park. Mind you, we live in a small town, so it wasn't creepy. But he bought ice cream for all of the kids. So I thought that was just really sweet and really nice. So instead of kind of stamping every letter separately, I decided to piece together my words on my stamp set. And again, when you do that, you do have to do it backwards. And definitely make sure you spell the word right. I think I forgot a letter. I didn't actually make it to stamping on the page. But I was like, ooh, I think it might have been the spring. I think I might have forgot the N initially. So I tucked that spring kind of in the space between the lovely and the day. And then I'm going to do such above the lovely. And kind of, I'm going to start with the such because I feel like I can sneak that A in kind of the opening between like where that V and E kind of dip. So I am going to start with the such. And again, I'm using 3 different fonts and 3 different colors. The such and the A are about the same size. I will try to go back and figure out which alpha stamps I'm using so I can link them down below for you if you're interested in any of the ones I did use. I think they are all still available. So, yeah, again, I'm just mixing up the colors, the fonts, the sizes. I just think it's so much fun. I did bring in the Sundance there, and I think melon was another color in the collection. So I did bring that in, I believe, on the title as well. There was such a white open space at the top of the layout, though, above the such, that I did end up deciding to rip another one of the papers and kind of tucking that in there to fill in some of that white space. And I love how bright that paper that I snuck in there is. I feel like it just brings such a brightness to the layout. The rest of it is kind of white, you know, with pops of color, whereas that is so bright and fun. It's like a ray of sunshine, I think, there. So now I'm going to get to embellishing the layout, which I did kind of struggle with a little bit. I just didn't know what to use, I guess, so to speak. So I am going to kind of use that title as one of the points of my visual triangle. And then I'm going to add one to the top and one to the bottom of the photos there. I definitely wanted to bring black in a couple other places. And I love that fun circle. So I thought that would be a great kind of piece to place behind the photos. It kind of brings them together a little bit more, and it's a great backing piece for a cluster, which is a smaller cluster than I probably would have preferred, but it is what it is. With having kind of a boyish layout, I really tried to kind of pick the pieces that would work for this layout. I don't know. I didn't want so many flowers or whatnot. So I stuck with hearts and kind of those fun, I don't know if you want to call them asterisks or kind of confetti pieces. But I did incorporate some of those. There is this black heart that I will incorporate again just to bring in some more black. Like I said, I just felt like because there's black in the title, it just needed black in a couple of other places. So pretty much that is going to finish it off. I am going to go ahead and stamp some more about the layout. I felt like, okay, there we go. I couldn't remember where I was stamping. I felt like it was a little plain underneath the lovely. And then, of course, I second generation stamped. But here's a tip. Half my stamp was off of the page. So my second generation stamping is directly above that L, and you can see how what part of it is a lot darker than the rest of it. And that's because that part wasn't touching the paper originally. So do be careful if you do the second generation stamping, that part of it's not hanging off of the layout. So I was kind of bummed that I did that, but it is what it is, and there was no fixing it, and the layout was complete, so I wasn't going to go back and tear it apart. So mistakes happen, but I will link this collection down below if you want to get your hands on it. Definitely check out the scrapbooking workshop as well, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.